Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is June 21st, 2024. It is a Friday morning. I'm off to my first job. See who I can help. So it should be fun. I'm working with Josh today, who's a really nice guy. I really like him. He's a good guy. Yeah, so headed off to get some work done. Yesterday I worked on cutting every subscription I can think of and find, and how do I get back to the baseline. So like I said yesterday, I'm looking at I'm gonna try to take all the reoccurring expenses I have to zero, besides like food, car payments. And that's one of the nice things about how I've been building my life, is I've been actively working on not having a large expense base, so I don't, besides kids and a wife, which will never go away, even though that this moment they have. So figuring that out, it's gonna be fun. We'll see what comes next. Yeah. Last night Steve, a guy I met, he's in IT, does a small IT business, came over, had a great conversation. It was really, really fun to just talk with him, work with him, hear about his experiences through life. And that's what life's about. Life's about connecting with people. Life's about connecting with people in a way that they feel heard. Whatever they want to talk about, really, to me, is irrelevant. The important thing to me is, I don't think most people feel heard. And so, like in my sales calls with service experts, my main goal is to let our clients feel heard. If they want to sit and talk while the tech's getting the work done, great. I can do that. I can be a listening ear for them. Because that's what builds trust. That's what builds value. That's what builds a relationship. Not talking, but listening. And so that's my whole goal with everything I do. So it'll be fun as we figure this out. Remember, no one controls time. No one can speed it up or slow it down. Only you can decide what you do. So make it count. You make it count in the long run. I believe eventually people will see that I have been living my life like no one else will, so that in the future I can live my life like no one else can. And it is brutal. But that's where success lies. In doing what only you can uniquely do. So go out there, chase success, chase your dreams, make it happen. Because your dream's not going to chase you. No one's going to push you towards your dream. If anything, they will actively try to hold you back from it, from my experience. So I hope you guys have a great day. Today, to work on writing my life. Like I mentioned, I've been cutting costs everywhere I can. I'm looking at transitioning from Go High Level to ConvertKit. Nathan Barry lives here in Idaho. He is an amazing individual. I've actually known him for years. We were kids together up in Roby Creek. Known is a very loose term. I've known he exists. I would imagine he knows I exist. That's about the extent of known for years. But I'm working towards transitioning from Go High Level to ConvertKit. One of the big reasons at this moment in time is Go High Level is $300 a month. and I can't afford that. And everything I do is around simplifying my life. I want to use X as my blog and the main place I do everything. Remember, I am a Lego builder. We are not recreating the wheel. We are leveraging everything everyone else is already doing. It is not about being in control. It is about following the rules other people set to play in their sandbox. And so that's what I'm working on right now. What I'm working on right now is adjusting to how do I simplify things? How do I make it easier? So we will see how that adjustment goes. We will see how ConvertKit goes. I never really started I've sent some emails out of Go High Level, but I've not done a good job of it due to fear from rejection from my family and my spouse. And yeah, I should have done it because the rejection happened anyway. Don't let the fear of anything stop you from doing what you believe you should. I have. And if I had had harder conversations sooner, more direct conversations sooner, if I had stopped being such a pushover and just so go with the flow, I could have avoided this entire mess I'm in. I have created the mess I'm in. I am solely responsible for it. But it is my mess. And that's the thing with life. It's not about how your mess is or isn't. It just is. You only get your 24 hours until you don't. Stop judging the mess you're in and start working through it. That's what I've been doing since I started documenting my journey. I've been doing this for 2 years. I haven't been posting the content for 2 years. I've just been creating it. I started being more diligent with posting the content back in September of last year. I feel like I've gotten to the point where I am extremely consistent with creating the content. It's not necessarily good content. It's not getting the views or results or anything else I want, but I have the habit of creating it. And that, I believe, is where success starts, is in creating the habit that over time will lead you to the result you want. And then if it's your brain, if it's your life, when does that timeline run out? When you die. So determine the life you want to live and chase it. I promise you, it will be worth it. I do not know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know what will happen with me and my home. I don't know what will happen with my wife and our kids. I don't know what will happen with anything. I don't even know what's going to happen on this next sales call I'm going on. But what will happen is irrelevant. What matters is how I approach it. How I take what happens and turn it into life experience. And turn it into whatever it is. Because it's my choice what it is. I could walk into the next sales call and the client could start yelling at me for something the last tech did when they came out. Guess what? That's life. I'll deal with it. And I'll deal with it from a place of understanding that this is the first time I'm ever meeting you. It's not like we have this long relationship. You are not mad at me. You're upset at the company. You're upset at the situation, whatever that situation is. And so, how do we change it? Well, the first thing you've got to do to change anything is discuss it. And if you don't discuss anything, nothing will ever change. And if you don't get buy-in from the other party won't change. The biggest contention between Emily and I is content. Emily constantly says she does not want her life to be content, which I understand. And I tried very hard not to put her in any of my content. I work not to put the kids in much of my content. But her and the kids are my life. And this is a documentary on my life. If we can't have that discussion, how do we ever get on the same page? And how do we ever determine a way to work together towards our goals if we don't talk about them? And so anyone who's married right now, I implore you, talk about your long-term goals, your 20, 30-year goals. What life are you guys creating? And what actions are you taking today to get to those goals? I mean, all it is retirement planning. All it is long-term strategic thinking. I don't believe anyone wants to retire. I believe people like to add value to the world in the way they like to add value to the world. Whether that's through investing, through rentals, through working at a job, through creating content, there's hundreds of ways to add value to the world. Grandparents watching grandkids, huge value add. And money doesn't change hands. I think that's one of the problems in our society, is people talk all the time about, oh, you don't want to leave too much money on the table. I firmly disagree. I would rather leave most of the money on the table so my clients can use that money to build the life they want. I am designing my life not around how do I get all the money on the table. I'm designing it around how do I build a big enough table that all of us can sit at. How do I do it in a way that supports my family, that supports my children, my grandchildren, my nieces, my nephews, my teachers' children, the doctors' children, the road construction workers' children, the HVAC technicians' children. I'm trying to live my life in a way that creates a system for all of our kids. Not today, but through time. And it's a totally different way to look at life. And I fully get why my family is very against my belief systems. I sound insane. And I'm okay with that. Because I believe you have to be insane long enough for someone to see that you are actually sane. That's how I believe Amazon got started. Jeff Bezos, I don't know, but he probably had an idea and kept chasing it. And I'm guessing people push back and push back and push back. But he kept going. And you know what? Now Amazon is what Amazon is, which is incredibly impressive. But it only happened because he had a dream and kept pushing towards that dream. And that dream came before any investor money. It came before any of it. But the only way he made it happen is by chasing it. So I just want to encourage you guys today. Chase whatever dream you have on as long of timeline as you can. Because to me, that's where success truly lies.
Then the destination is on your right.
All right. Well, I hope y'all have a great day, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Stop sign. Turn right.
All right. Their house, perfect. No problems. A 13-year-old system. Everything checked out. Perfect. Which is great. Great. Good conversation. I love talking to the clients.
Turn left.
Just getting to know them and hearing their stories and what they're doing, where they're going. He's moving down to Texas to be closer to family next year, and just all the things life has to offer. And this is what I love most about this job, is the ability to create new random connections. Like totally random. People they won't find me on social media. They just completely random humans that I've shared the time with, that we've both been alive. And now I get to meet them and serve them and help them figure out how to take care of their home better, which I think is great.
At the next stop sign, turn
So
right.
that is a quick update.
Yes, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had an uncle who was living out there for a while.
Oh, cool.
Anyways, yeah. You're a busy guy, so I'll just get right to the point here. So I'm an MBA student. I go to NYU Stern in New York, and I'm a part of a private equity club. And one of the things that we're doing is like hypothetically, if you were to invest in a company, right? You'd want to know all the attributes of those firms, and you may or may not be aware of this, but private equity companies love to buy HVAC organizations. And so as we're like going through and basically giving industry pitches about like, hey, why should we buy in certain areas? One of the most important things you really need to understand is like, how do these companies actually make money? What happens on the inside? Because look, you can do a lot of Wikipedia searching about like the industry, the history, like the growth prospects, but it's like actually at the end of the day, what happens on the inside, like how do they make money, what are the sales teams doing, is really important. So I just want to learn something from you so I can write that in my report. And just to give you a little background about myself, so before becoming an MBA student, I actually worked in sales operations for many years at Wayfair. Actually, we worked with contractors, interior designers, schools, property managers. Those were sort of our big clientele because we worked on the B2B side. And yeah, that's what I'm calling you today.
Perfect. Well, I'm thrilled to have the conversation. So,
Yeah.
I guess I have a very unique way of looking at business as a whole. And so I'll just share that with you. Can I start by sharing a bit of my backstory?
Yeah, go for it.
So growing up, my parents owned a remodeling company, a plumbing company, and an electrical company. They bought a sales training franchise, a Sandler training franchise, in 1999 to train their own companies. So between 8th and 9th grade, I ended up going through sales training. I was a sales trainer for about 10 years after college, and then I spent the next 6 years as an entrepreneur, and now I'm trying to build my life back up, and specifically in the HVAC industry. So I look at sales and business as the point of a company is to collect and monetize time for some specific reason. In HVAC, it is everyone wants a cool house in the summer and a hot house in the winter.
Exit left.
Everyone who owns time, every individual, has this problem that they will always want to solve. I believe that's why HVACs are such attractive businesses for mergers and acquisitions. It's because as economies fluctuate, as technology fluctuates online, you're always going to have that real physical need in your life. So every business can set itself up however they want to operate. Service Experts is the company that I found that I have loved working for. The way they operate is based off monthly reoccurring revenue. They're trying to take the SaaS business model and incorporate it into the real world. So the way we do it is the first level of our value ladder is, we call it Priority Plus, which is where we come in, or someone comes and gives us their name and number. So they're on our contact list, they're on our mailing list, and we give them priority service if anything happens over anyone who's straight off the street. So that's the first level of the value ladder. The second level of the value ladder, we call it Maintenance Plus. Maintenance Plus is a maintenance program where we come out twice a year and we do an assessment on their AC unit and on their furnace in the winter, AC in the summer. And we're looking at, how is the equipment working? Are there any problems? Does anything need replaced? Does anything need cleaned? And so we get the monthly reoccurring revenue, but production only takes place twice a year. And on those calls, we're able to upsell or cross-sell different equipment, other needs they may have. And at the top level of our...
This is very, very cool. Yeah, I actually already have a couple of questions. So for
Sure.
the tier 1, tier 2, what's like the price differential between those two services? And I'm assuming that the value proposition that you give to the customers, like if you sign up for these services, not only will we check in on your equipment to make sure that it's running properly, but if you have a serious problem in the future, you're going to be top of the first person that we work with ahead of anyone else.
Correct. 100%. So the first level is the only cost for Priority Plus is your name and email. That is the only cost. The second level, that Maintenance Plus program, depends on how much equipment's in your house and stuff like that. But on average, it's $15 a month. So it is a very low cost subscription. And again, the goal with any subscription business model is to make it so easy for someone to say, yeah, I can see the value that brings, and I don't feel the pain that it takes because it's spread out over time.
And are you targeting residential or commercial properties? Or
Residential.
okay, residential. Got it. And do you? Yeah, this is all very interesting. So when you go to a customer, you try to sell them on this subscription model, and then you can sell them further services, whether it's repair or new equipment in the future once you've developed that relationship. Okay.
Yep.
How do you source, like, where do you get your leads? How do you find these customers?
So, great question. I've only been with Service Experts about a month and a half now. So I'm still figuring it out. Our business model, I am going to the client calls, 4 calls every day, building that relationship. So I'm not even the one truly prospecting. Now, with that said, in order to survive financially, I must prospect. So what I'm doing is I run my own blog. I record content every day about what I'm doing in my life to chase my long-term dream of being a good father and a good member of society. So I document the journey of what we're doing, how we're doing it. So like if, let's say we're cleaning off an AC unit, I'm hosing that AC unit down. And as I'm hosing it down, I talk about, hey, you know, the reason we do this is because the dust becomes almost an insulation, which makes your system work harder, which kills it faster. So you want to make sure you're cleaning your system every year. And then I just create content around the problems we solve with the purpose of showing future clients online what we do offline to solve people's problems.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. When you're dealing with a customer, is all the work done through you? So like, let's say I have an HVAC unit in my house, it's broken. I don't know if it needs repair or replacement. Do I only work with you, or what does that process look like? Let's assume I get connected to you. I reach out to Service Experts. I start talking to Justin. What happens then?
Great question. One of the reasons I really love Service Experts as a business model to work within is because you are not tied to me. You are tied to the company. And so I believe time is the most valuable asset in the world, and you can never get time back. And you can only do tax strategy for financial ROI or time ROI. I always do my tax strategy based on the time, not based on the finances of how much tax do I have to pay. That's one of the reasons I like Service Experts. It's already a publicly traded company. It's owned by Brookfield Asset Manager. I can already buy ownership of the asset I work within. And so as I'm creating this content and driving people to call Service Experts, I'm not driving them to call me. I'm driving them to call the company that I'm buying ownership in. So as that grows, the work I'm doing appreciates through the ownership of that organization.
Got it. And let's say if I want to get my HVAC unit replaced, would I only work with you, or are there other people in the organization that I would have to work with?
There's other people that you'd be working with. So I'm customer service, client relationships, and then there's people who are more knowledgeable on the sales and systems. There's techs who are, so like right now I'm traveling to another call with my tech, and he does all the work, and I focus on taking care of the client and figuring out what all they need, how we can support them, and building that relationship so they keep coming back to us to work with us rather than any other HVAC company out there.
Got it. So you focus on the post-sales customer interactions?
Yep.
Good. Let's see, do I have any other questions? Not really at this time. I think I really want to learn more about like the lead sourcing process.
Okay.
Figuring out like, hey, where do your customers actually come from, right? Like it's fundamental
Yep.
running an effective business. Is there anyone in your company that you think you could put me in contact with that could help me learn more about that?
Not that I'm pretty new.
Okay.
I know in our office, so I'm in the Boise branch, right? So we're a
Right.
publicly traded company. There's lots of locations all over. I'm in the Boise branch, and we are one of the smallest branches of service experts. I've seen us doing like Instagram and Facebook ads, but besides that, I haven't really seen much lead gen
Got
at
it.
all.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
is that helpful?
Well, this was extremely helpful, Justin. Just is there anything else that do you have any questions for me?
Just because of what you're doing and all of that, I'm curious if like I mentioned, I run my blog and podcast. Would you be open to being a guest on it and me walking you through what I'm doing?
You know what? Let me take. Look, I'm more than happy to.
Yeah. It's okay to say no.
But let me take a listen. Could you like send me could you send me a couple of your podcasts so I can listen, so I can get to know what it's about?
Yeah, I can.
For sure.
I will. So the podcast is called Life with Justin Stevens. It's a documentary literally on my life and who I interact with day in and day out. So,
Okay.
and it's all about how do you capture the true value of time. I believe our society has never captured the true value of time, and so I'm trying to do that through my blog, which is owned by my holding company that is designed to be an ESOP for all of the subscribers of my blog.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Let me take a listen. Are you on
Yep.
Spotify?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take a listen on Spotify this weekend.
Awesome. We'll talk to you later.
Okay. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate your time.
Likewise. Bye.
Bye. Very complicated.
All right, we just got done with the day. It's a good day. This last system, holy cow. It was an electric heater from 1978. Woo. It was old. It still worked though. It was shocking. I mean, repairs wise, it would cost like $3,000 just to get it set it up. So we sent them a quote for repairing it, and we sent them a quote for replacing it, putting in a heat pump, because there's no gas or anything at the location. So you got to do what you got to do, which heat pumps are a great option in and of themselves anywho. But yeah, no, good call. It was fun to see that old of a unit. It was down in a basement. It was delightful. I love seeing interesting stuff, seeing how things are made, seeing old things. I just like seeing things. I like variety. I don't know if you've caught on to that yet, but I do. And I love that flag right there. America. So I'm headed home. Not sure what I'm gonna do tonight. Josh, who I worked with all day, invited me to come hang out with him and his wife this weekend. So I think I'm going to do that either tonight or tomorrow night. And we'll see. We'll see from there. Anyways, quick update. Hope you all doing well. Hope you're fighting the good fight and chasing your dream. At the end of the day, whatever happens to you is irrelevant, because you wake up tomorrow until you do not. So keep that in mind. Josh, right there. So keep waking up, keep chasing that dream, and we will talk to y'all tomorrow or later, probably later. Good evening, everybody. I'm out driving an Uber. Fun and exciting stuff. Let me tell you. I'm gonna drive Uber later tonight. BDD for some people. Go have fun, play loud music, who knows? Who knows? But that is my plan for the evening. Been a good day. I'm figuring all this stuff out, which is great. I've been working on setting up ConvertKit So I have a Life with Justin Stevens domain name. So instead of replacing my justindcstevens.com blog with the ConvertKit stuff, I'm able to use that domain with my ConvertKit stuff. And so I'll have Life with Justin Stevens and justindcstevens.com. Got a ride. Alright, so looks like I'm going to the right. Anyways, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to start using ConvertKit, and I'm going to start sending out daily emails of my journal entry. And we'll see how it goes, because life is life. But yeah, I'm blessed. I'm excited to have the opportunities that I have in front of me, and I hope you are too.